The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Tuesday, the 10th day of May 2022. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House One Communications and Lindo's. I'm Jamal Hartman. She's Sancha Durham, and Leanna Lambert will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Sancha, it's Tuesday. How are you feeling?
I feel great.
I love to hear it. I love to hear it.
Well, good morning, everyone.
Yeah. We love to hear you feeling great. No, I did hear. I learned something new about you just now backstage. Is
What?
that is Maddox has his first sports day today, and
Yes,
I
that's say.
kind of asked where he gets the athletics from, and she came out to me and Leanna just now. She's like, "Well, I was
No,
champion girl."
I was champion girl.
All right,
Now,
all right.
don't ask me to run now, but now listen. So I was champion girl when I went to Petra Primary. When I
Mhm.
came to Bastion, whole another beast. I was like, oh, these girls are like fast. Simon from Pacers was up there, and he was playing no games, and he was like, Sancho, catch up. Let's have it. And then I started running cross country, from going to Bastion.
All
That's
right.
all right. Now, I can't take anything away from Jesse, though. Everybody knows Jesse's athletics. So
Okay.
but I'll take my piece.
All right, Maddox, you
I hope
got
he does something today, right?
it's got some shoes to fill, folks. No pressure, no pressure, no pressure. All right, greetings everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. Another good one today as we welcome Schereene Outerbridge from Sale GP to the show. We are talking Sale GP. The daily play is a remember when, so a bit of history today for Sancha. I think it's pretty easy, but hey, stranger things have happened. But
Hey, I got yesterday. I got it right.
the thing is, once you get one, they just start flowing in.
I'm hoping that's what happens today.
Let's hope that's not the case. Yeah, let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. But
Wow, you should be setting me up for success.
I am.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I sometimes I get, both begin with S, Sherry Sanchez, Sherry Sanchez. And then you didn't make it easy for me because you are on the dark side. So I'm just gonna prepare myself for the next 2 months of this red and blue rhetoric with you. Yeah. So yeah, you're not making it easy. But that said, did Maya let us know who her cup match team is?
No, she hasn't, but I'm sure Somerset. She's pretty smart.
Yeah, she is. But I mean, Leanna's a very intelligent young lady. Larry's not too bad himself. Phil is all right.
Brainwashed.
Yeah. No, oh, wow. Well, it would be a tragedy if Maya was wearing red and blue that time of year. But we're not talking about that today. We'll give her
I
her
mean,
space.
it would be a total surprise if St. George's actually wins. So,
Why are you doing?
strange things have happened.
I don't know why she's choosing violence so early on a Tuesday morning. So early on a Tuesday morning. But folks, we have a question for you. And I want folks stick with us with this because it's not I'm not picking on the former commissioner of police, but Facebook's pretty public, right? You'd agree that Facebook is a public forum, right? I mean, it's a space where people post stuff. So yesterday, the former commissioner of police, Stephen Corbishley, he posted something and he said, Senja, very surprised not to see any reporting to a BPS. Now that's Bermuda Police Service police officer recently sentenced for 6 months in brackets suspended for pleading guilty to unlawful access to police information and wait for it, possession of drugs with intent to supply. seriously corrupt acts which harm greatly confidence. I'm reading from what he put. So if it comes out a little different, that's what I'm reading. Seriously corrupt acts which harmly greatly confidence and legitimacy in the police service as well as public safety. Perhaps police professional standards are not considered important / news issues such as they were before, much as they were before. So now here's the question of the morning, Senja. The
Okay.
question is, should people speak negatively in public spaces about their former employers after separation? That's the question. And this is not to say I believe what the former commissioner stated is negative. To me, if what he's saying is true, to me that's of the greater public interest, right? That's something that the public has a need to know. But I guess the question, because a lot of people were questioning, why are you doing this? Should people speak negatively in public spaces about their former employer after separation? What are your thoughts, folks? Audience, again, the former commissioner of police, Stephen Corbishley, had questioned something that he states was not reported to the media. Another news outlet said it's actually not true what he's stating. That's neither here nor there. Obviously, he's former commissioner of police and he's commenting on matters involving the police. But do you believe people should speak negatively in public spaces about their former employer after separation? Central, you just look like you're ready on this one.
I know. So for me, you took the words out of my mouth. For me, when this happens, it always sparks my interest as why are we saying this? Why are you telling me this? Why? As an employer, obviously, I have had so many interviews and with staff, and when I have someone that I interview and they sit there and tell me about their last employer and why it didn't work and how they're so bad and what I, you know how they have those memes like red flag. Because if they're going to do it, it always makes me think, okay, so what happened on the employers? Like, what is their opinion that happened in this situation? Why didn't it work out for them? What didn't you understand about this? And if you are going to talk bad about them, as soon as something happens that you don't like here, instead of sitting down, discussing it, and let's make it better, you're probably going to run to the next person and do the same thing. So it's always a red flag for me. Always. I will not, and that a word of advice, if you're going into an interview, please leave your former employer out of it. And if it didn't end well, I mean, you can choose to not discuss it. Like, that really didn't go well, so I don't want to get into it.
But I think, I kind of agree with you in an interview. You definitely probably, it's probably not in your best interest to negatively speak about your former employer.
So many times you would be surprised how many times it happens, and it's almost like they think that you I don't know, like you're gonna get something out of it, like, oh yes, you want to hear. No, I don't want to hear about
But,
anyone else and the messiness. Let's talk about you.
but I think, honestly, I think that is pretty much saying you don't want a job. I from my perspective,
Yeah.
how does a conversation lead to the former employer? I guess, from a more public space, like we have social media now, right?
Mm-hmm.
From a
And
social media perspective, I have no problem. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you have a bad experience working for my company, I
Mhm.
honestly don't have a problem you going on social media and expressing that. I'm gonna tell you why.
Let's
Because
hear your view on this.
because when you treat people well, I don't want to put her on this spot, but I use Leanna a lot. I use Leanna a lot because I just think she's a dream to work with. I think she attitude wise, she is just the most humble. Like, she's always willing to learn. She's just tough when she's ready. Like, she picks her moments. And as long as you have people like that on your team and someone goes and speaks negatively of you, I feel like, well, that's one person. There's 100 others who are still here and contributing and happy. You get what I'm saying? So for me, if you choose to go and do that, that's on you. That's on
But
you. I want you
it's
to have that
foolish.
freedom of thought and idea to feel like you can go express yourself, especially if you feel like, okay, those 99 people are straight, but I was done wrong. I honestly, I'm okay with that. I am. And people will be like, well, Jamal, no, I disagree. And I understand why people disagree, but I
Mhm.
actually am okay with someone saying, oh, I hate it work. That's cool. We just
Mhm.
will not work together again.
That's
That's my
true.
point. Yeah.
That's true, but we established yesterday that people enjoy messiness, right? So that one voice of, and it's, why did you not enjoy working there? Is this because of your personal, you know what I mean? Like in certain places, you have certain standards, certain protocols, and if that doesn't work out for you, by
Mhm.
all means, fine. I don't think it's necessary for you to walk away. And even if that was a bad experience and it didn't work out, what are we getting by shouting to the mountaintops how bad this place is? Like, remove yourself from it, learn from it, and what would you do differently? And even if you have to have that conversation, I know me, I would prefer you have that conversation with me. Why is it that you cannot be in this setting? Why is it that this is not working out for you? So that I know the next time around how I can make it better. But you going and blasting it on social media and like, for what? That one messy blast that outweighs the
Mhm.
10 other people that you have that are solid
Yeah.
and enjoying your workplace.
It's hard to disagree with you, and I'm gonna try, because again, it can't be just a wall. Like
Yeah.
but I'm gonna try from this respect. And folks, if you're just tuning in, the question of the morning: should people speak negatively in public spaces about their former employers after separation? Here's the thing: you're right. People do like messiness, and I
Mhm.
think people gravitate towards that story. Oh, I heard they're this anyway, or working for them is that. I get you.
Yes.
But I also feel like you having that opportunity and you taking the opportunity are two different things. You having the opportunity to express how you feel about an employer negatively in public is one thing. You taking that opportunity to do it is another. And it tells me about someone's mindset. No, there
Yeah.
are certain employers who literally need to be put on blast. They need to. There are some bad employers, right?
Mhm.
And there are people who will never leave companies because they need to be, like, they need employment, they need the pay, they need the job. So I let's put that in a category. However, if it's one thing I've learned as a business owner, and I'm sure this is where you were going with it, is
Mhm.
the company, the business, and especially in small town Bermuda, mindset wise, if the company or business doesn't respond, people take what that person's saying for gospel. Literally. They if because the messiness attracts, right? So if I'm working for Sencha and I separate and I go publicly and I start speaking, oh, it was the worst company, they don't take care of their employees this way and that way, people will gravitate, start, yes,
But
I heard this and
the
that.
best thing to do for that company is not to respond. You
Exactly, I agree.
respond,
I
you're
agree.
going down a whole nother route that
Mhm.
does not, you're better alone, leaving that, like totally leaving that, and and it's eating you up inside. Like, I've been
Mhm.
through this. I think I said when I came and I interviewed, here on the Daily Hour, one of the things I said is that when I started out with Nail Bar, I I didn't know how to manage. I could honestly admit that my management style, it wasn't conducive to the business, right? And I had to step back and say to but it was a mixture of mess, right? It was
Mhm.
my management style, but also the people that I was hiring.
Mhm.
And the two together just created a whole ball of chaos.
Yeah.
And until I was able to step back and be like, hold on, how do we make this better? So they were probably legit in some of their, allegations of, oh, that's not a good space. They were probably legit, but
Yeah.
it it enabled me to step back and say, okay, I need to reevaluate. And now when I tell you I have a dream team, when I tell you our space is so healthy, and I feel like everyone is so happy, they know they can come in and talk to me. You have to take the opportunity to say, okay, how can I make this better as an employer? Yes, look at it, don't dwell on it,
Mhm.
do not respond.
Yeah.
That is the best advice I can give you. And check yourself. But
I agree with you. I do, and this is a tough conversation because she won't take the bad side, folks. It's a question.
don't listen, don't hire anyone that's talking bad about their former employer, whether it's on social media, whether it's in an interview. Do not do it.
Folks, I'm gonna talk about a bad employer. I listen to Sancho. I
Don't.
will. I'm gonna do it.
Jamel's gonna have the daily hours gonna be his only job.
Now, honestly, here's the thing. My job before where I'm at now, I work for the Florida Panthers, and the toughest part about that job was the commute. I traveled pretty much 2 lengths of Bermudas to work every day, and they, I remember that you got to ask the question, "Why are you leaving?" And I was just like, "Because my boss is leaving," and I didn't realize how tied to my boss I was, like stuff like that. And then the second reason was the commute. The commute. Um, to me, it's a bad thing. It was a bad thing, and I felt bad, not because it's the company's fault, but because we were entering an era where people were doing hybrid and working from home, and my job could have been done from home. So I actually felt like, yeah, that was a bad thing talking about them, because that commute wasn't necessary at the point when I was leaving. So even something like that was probably negative that I did not even consider at the time. Carla John says, everyone is within their right to discuss negative aspects of a former employer, but it's best to leave those complaints in an exit interview where your feedback can actually make a difference. Don't burn bridges today that you may need tomorrow. You know what I say about bridges? Yeah, that's how I feel about bridges. Yeah.
No, what are we going to do with you?
But no, I take her point. I definitely take her point.
Yeah,
But
that's exactly what I said. Like, what are you, when you take to social media and you are going to rant about your ex-employer, what are you trying to achieve? That is my question. What are we trying to achieve in that moment? Are we trying to make the business better? Are we just trying to make everyone dislike the business? Like, what are we trying to
maybe you're trying to warn people of the organization, and you don't have access to people outside of just going on social media. I don't know.
I guess
No,
that's a
no,
point.
but there's got to be some ish. Like there are got to be some cases. Like for me, outright racism, sexual abuse, or assault. Like
Oh, yeah,
I think and I just want to be clear. There's a situation
definitely.
where, yeah, maybe you want to go public if there's corruption taking place in there and you're a whistleblower. Yeah, but I
Yeah.
think honestly, personal stuff in the organization, I think we should leave well enough alone. Traveling Trotty says maybe it was an experiment for the courses he teaches, the do's and don'ts of speaking about former employees. Who are you talking about, Traveling Trotty? You say it was an experiment he teaches. Yeah. Should people speak negatively in public spaces about their former employers after separation? What are your thoughts?
I
Headlines.
think the point you just made sense. Oh, sorry. You can discuss whatever you choose in the privacy of your home, but publicly, definitely not, because everyone's version of their story is their truth.
Mm,
Yep, and that's a very good point. And I always say that there's always two sides to every story,
at least.
and that's your side, what happened on the other side. And like I said, from a management standpoint, I mean, I don't think sometimes people really understand what goes into it. There's so many different variables, and something that you feel like it's not fair to you, it's probably not being given to you based on something else that could fail in the business,
Mm, mm.
So we have to look at it a 360
I
view.
really hope people take stuff away from this, because we all get angry and emotions. Again, I feel like there are certain instances when you see racist practice, discrimination, sexual abuse, or that nature. But for the most part,
Definitely.
there's no reason. Sam Cat Play says sometimes the pot that calls the kettle black needs to be called out. Not all the time. It's the employee. There are several bad managers that cause the worst to come out of people. Real talk. And again, there are exceptions. I agree. I
Yeah. Yeah.
agree.
And I think that we also, I feel that sometimes, I send into places, and now, as I said, I consult for Luso and English Board Shop. And so I'm on the other side of it. And I see from I wish that employees can find a way to feel more comfortable and have a voice and
Uh,
understand that your voice is valid, but it's how we come across. If we can speak on what our dislikes are, where we can come and management can understand. Now, if you're speaking on it and it's in a way that's conducive to the business, but nothing's being done, then I get it. But we need to kind of fill that gap, whereas you feel comfortable speaking to management about the things that can be changed, what you want to be done different. Because as a manager, like, it can be lonely sometimes, and you're trying to pick things out of your employees' heads, and it's like, listen, talk to me. You
yeah,
know what I mean? How do we get to that space of you feeling comfortable enough to talk to me?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's yeah. I mean, but Sanjay, I mean, in all fairness, there are still, believe it or not, in 2022, there are still managers and places of
I've seen
employment that literally feel like you should be lucky to work here, and they don't give a crap about treating people in
it.
a
And
certain
times
manner.
have
You know,
changed, and I wish that people will change with those times. You know
well,
what I mean? Like, stop treating people as if, oh, it's a privilege and I'm giving you a job. And no,
and
no.
agreed. Schereene says never publicly. You just don't know who knows you or them, and it can jeopardize future job opportunities. Sherry Vanderpool says there is a time and place for everything, and Phil is wondering where he can get up button. So Phil, it's on the way. It's on the way. It would have been coming this week to you, but yeah, COVID had other plans. So, Sense, you're on the side. You believe that um,
Can happen. Like, but Jamal, you just gave a different perspective that I didn't think about. Of course, if there's sexual abuse, if there's racism, of course, yes, we speak about those things. We are whistleblowers. I totally agree that there is space for that and it should happen. But
okay.
if we're talking about, other things that, nah.
They, all right, Coach Sancha or Doctor Durham. She means Sancha is referring to a concept called psychological safety. All right, so she said, "Sorry, Sancha, for the autocorrect. Keep spelling Sancha, and autocorrect will get it." Let's bring Lee in. I want to see what Lee thinks. Wonder if she'll ever talk bad about me once she decides that she's heading
She's
up.
not that person.
I don't know, man. You ought to see how she switches on me in private. She goes places, man. Let's bring it in. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
You heard Sancha talking about you.
I heard you talking about me.
No, she said something about you
Who
not
are you?
being like a good person because you're for St. George's and all that. You didn't hear that earlier?
No. She did. She shot fires at me this morning.
You
Yeah.
I
see
saw
red
that. I
lipstick
heard it,
today?
Sancha.
Do you see that red lipstick popping today? Liana?
It ain't no blue up in this outfit though, so there is nothing to talk about. But no, I believe that Maya is definitely a St. George's fan. So
Oh,
No.
yes. Let's welcome her with open arms. Welcome her.
yeah.
So, Lee, you gonna speak negatively like in 10 years when you retire and say you've had enough of the Daily Hour?
No, I'm not. I don't believe in publicly shaming a business. I don't believe in publicly doing anything, whether it's personal business or having worked with a company. But I do believe. I think Sancha made the point, and I think it was Traveling Trotty as well, creating safe spaces for employees to feel as if they can voice their concerns without repercussions or anything of that nature. What I do appreciate about my generation is that we are a no nonsense, no tolerant type of generation. And when we feel as if we are being, I don't even if it's discriminated against, or we're at a point in our career, in our jobs, where we're just like, no, I don't feel as if I'm being valued. We exit stage left, and I have to appreciate that. We do not stay in a position for 40 years unhappy. We don't do it. And I appreciate my generation for
That's
having the courage and the
Yeah.
strength to walk away from things, unhappy situations. But I do not believe in publicly shaming, unless it, and like Sancha said, you have to whistle blow because it's come to a head where this is something of a serious nature.
I'm a whistleblower. You can go with it. Shit, I'm gonna talk to you, folks. I'm gonna tell you that the racist organization and sexual abuse. I'm gonna tell you that. You ain't gotta worry about
Jamal's holding nothing back.
that.
No.
I'm sorry, I just got caught, but I went back there. I went back there. Lee, over to you. You got some news for us.
Thanks, Jamal and Sancha, and good morning to everyone that's tuned in with us this morning. I hope everyone is having a great start to their day. I'm Leanna Lambert, and it's time for the Daily Hour News Break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Well, here's what's going on in today's top stories. The police are investigating an attempted shooting which occurred Sunday night near the junction of Court Street and Elliott Street, with the suspect attempting to discharge the weapon when it jammed. Police appealed for information about the incident, which is said to have happened just after 11 p.m. Now, according to a BPS spokesperson, a member of the public called to report that a man had pointed a silver handgun at another man who was sitting on a white bike near the junction of Court Street and Elliott Street. The suspect is said to have ran off through the parking lot towards Union Street. Now, upon police arrival, they discovered several rounds of live ammunition after a search of the area. CCTV footage of the incident is now being reviewed, police say, as part of the investigation process. Detective Chief Inspector Sherwin Joseph, the officer in charge of the Specialist Investigations Unit, said they are thankful to the caller who alerted them to this incident. However, there were still several individuals in the area when it occurred who were not willing to say what they had saw or assist police with their inquiries. Now, anyone with information on what happened is asked to get in contact with police as soon as possible. Meanwhile, a 40-year-old man was seriously injured at about 6:30 p.m. yesterday after a two-vehicle crash involving a car and a motorcycle in Smiths. Police diverted traffic away from McGall's Hill, where a car was left blocking both lanes of South Road to the east of the junction with Mora Estate Road. The man was being treated in for what police had described as serious injuries. Traffic was diverted onto Savile Road and St. Mark Road while the scene was processed. And EastEnders yesterday welcomed its very first cruise ship of the year. The Seven Seas Navigator berthed at Penrose Wharf in St. George's yesterday morning. Now, a Corporation of St. George spokesperson said that the arrival was a long overdue welcome. She said this is evidence that there are smaller boutique vessels available that are capable of passing through the Town Cut Channel. These should be encouraged to have longer stays so that there is economic benefit for stakeholders. Now, the Seven Seas Navigator is expected to depart St. George's this afternoon, but it is scheduled to return to the island later this month with visits to both Hamilton and the East End. Now, there are 12 cruise ship visits expected to make their way to St. George's, which are included in the 2022 cruise ship schedule. That's great news. Taking a look at today's weather, we have a high near 77 and a low near 70 degrees. Now, we can expect a fine start to the day, but showers and thunder are hanging around to the distant east. Low pressure will continue to linger to our west over the next few days, maintaining a moderate southerly breeze and sporadic showery weather. Meteorologists say drier and sunnier spells will settle in by late this morning. For a moment, the potential for showers increases on Wednesday as a boundary of convergence to the east drifts back over the island through early Thursday. That's all for our Daily Hour News Break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Now let's head back to Jamal and Sancha in the studio for today's Daily Focus.
All right, thanks so much for that, Lee. Sanch, what you got? Days of the year. What you got for us?
Today is World Lupus Day. So, learn the symptoms so you can act fast against the life-threatening autoimmune disease known as lupus, which affects at least 5 million people globally. Imagine being bothered by sunlight, being covered in rash, suffering from fatigue, having mouth sores, and dealing with kidney and joint problems, as well as experiencing substantial hair loss and swelling of the lymph nodes. Sounds awful, doesn't it? Well, it kind of is, and many people deal with the symptoms of lupus every day. World Lupus Day was created to help the world understand that seemingly random grab bag of symptoms is actually a debilitating chronic autoimmune disease that's suffered by about 5 million people worldwide.
Sending love to people. I know quite a
Yeah,
few people
I
with
know quite a few people that have lupus, and deal with it really well, and have for years and years, but it is debilitating, So
that.
shout out to everyone with lupus and the Lupus Association. I know
Yep,
they do a lot. I
definitely.
haven't heard anything recently, but yeah, maybe
Yeah,
we
maybe
need to reach out to
you have
them.
them on, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And Lee, I heard you mention in your news break that they got a cruise ship down in St. George's.
Yes, they did, and I'm so
Yeah,
excited.
So
So
please.
you said
excited.
that's cool.
Yeah, like the Seven Seas Navigator is birth. I mean, they are leaving this afternoon, but they will return later
Yeah.
this month. So that is great news for
It is.
all the East End stakeholders and shops down there, that they could, have a bit of like excitement, as people travel throughout the old town.
Honestly, I'm
Yeah.
happy for St. George's. It's one of my
Yeah.
favorite spaces, like for tourists to enjoy. So take care of them, make it look good, St. Joe, and let's get some more cruise ships down there. You don't
Yes.
need to open the cut. You don't need bigger ships. There are ships that can get down there and entertain.
Most definitely.
That's one thing I can give St. George's. I hear once you go down there, you never come out. So
Don't try to come on our team now. Look. Just trying to inch our way up. Lee, have a wonderful day. Have
Such a try. Have a good day, guys.
later. All right, folks. We have the Sail GP, folks. Schereene Outerbridge is coming up after this. You don't want to go anywhere because this is going to be a good conversation. You know, Sanch, I'm going to miss not being able to be there, but I know you'll be there having fun for us all, right?
I can't wait.
She loves it, folks. We'll be right back. Stick with us.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's, I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
We're featuring a range of remarkably effective household cleaning solutions made with ecologically sound ingredients and pleasing fragrances from Ecos, a company with over 50 years' experience producing plant-powered cleaning products. The founder was a veteran chemist in the cleaning products industry and started up Ecos as a response to the harsh chemicals he had routinely encountered. Try Ecos non-abrasive cream cleanser, vinegar window cleaner, and in spray bottles, Orange Plus and Parsley Plus cleaners, shower and floor cleaners, furniture polish, and stain and odor remover. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
Mom's celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah. Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendy Town Field. Number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
All righty, welcome back to the big show. She's Sancha Durham. I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House One Communications, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Sancha, you're excited about this convo, aren't you?
I am. I was never into sailing, always into boats. Grew up around boats. My dad raced boats and stuff like that. So, but sailing to me was always like, wah, wah, But when I went to work for the America's Cup, I got a whole new enlightening into sailing, and especially these sailboats. Like they are like.
Those ain't sailboat. Those are, you know what? They're just they're super like duper like, man, it makes you feel like you're watching a video game. But that's it. Let's bring in Schereene.
So excited.
Good morning, Schereene. How are you, my friend?
I'm well. How are you both? Good morning.
Well, you can like kids with a new game talking about these boats that they use in the America's Cup Sail GP, just sailing Grand Prix these days. But first of all, thank you for coming.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's exciting to be here. As you can see, I'm surrounded by a typical workspace.
No,
So
no, no.
nothing fancy behind me.
We love that you're in your element. We know it's
Yeah.
really happening. We know it's really happening. But with that said, Bermuda's a bit more open. Last year, obviously, we had the SailGP. It was, we were still doing the pandemic thing, I guess, in
Yeah.
terms of the shutdowns and not being able to move about freely. What's the feeling about this year's event, just knowing that Bermuda's a bit more open?
Well, it's kind of like popping a champagne bottle when you think about it. It's all this pressure on the inside, and then we can't wait for the race weekend to take place. And then you pop the cork, and everything's just happening at once, and it's fast and it's furious and exciting and celebratory all at the same time. So this is something that's been brewing for over a year. As everybody knows, we wanted to do a race village last year, but because of the pandemic, we had to keep things safe. Everyone was in bubbles, and now we don't have to worry about the bubbles. Obviously, there's still safety precautions, but yeah, we're pumped. We're ready to to be on the island and bring the island to Cross Island so that we can have this not just on the water, right?
Yeah. No, for real. And that said, obviously we just spoke about America's Cup, Sentra's involvement, and it was a great event. Like it or not, politics aside, it was a great event from my experience. How does this event differ from the America's Cup? And just in layman terms, because there are a lot of people who tune in who just don't understand sailing from a layman term.
Well, I personally don't come from a sailing background. So that right there just basically tells you that you don't have to have that in your history to then jump on board. Just like what Sancho was saying, you might have been around it, you might have been boating and stuff like that, but coming into a league like this, Sail GP is. I could talk for hours about Sail GP and all the different programs that we run. So it's not just the racing on the water. So I think the key difference is people understanding that this isn't a casual sail around the sound. This is fleet racing. So what people saw during the America's Cup was match racing. Now we're going to see on the start line 9 boats at the same time racing against each other. But there's all this stuff that goes on around it to get people to the point where they are seeing what's happening on the water. So where I'm sitting right now, for example, there's a lot of work going on in the background with branding and we built a boat here. That's the 9th boat that people would have seen out on the sound. And then going back even further, we start with the younger generation where we're promoting the Inspire program through our partners at Endeavor, promoting youth sailing across the island from city to city that we go to. This is a program that takes place. There's a ton of activities for youth to get involved with. They're all STEM based. And like this week, we're going to see about 300 school kids come through our tech base, which we've been talking about is our tech based tours. So people can get behind the scenes to have a look at how the boats are built, what goes into them, meet some of the sailors, just have a better understanding and just be up close and personal with one of these beasts. They're like flying space machines to some people. You want me to get real layman on it? They're just these massive things that fly across the water.
Exactly. Like this. I love it. I love it. Go ahead, Sam. Sorry.
So that's one of the questions I have for you. So people that don't understand sailing, how is the match formatted? Are there qualifying heats, or you said everyone starts at the line? How is the match formatted?
So different to what people saw as far as a series, and then you have a final. We are an annual global championship. So every season runs 12 months of the year, and every race qualifies you for the grand final. So it's not qualified as a series per se. So we want people to tune in from event to event as we go across the globe. And then just like when was it? March 26th and 27th, we were in San Francisco. That was season 2 grand final. Season 3 grand final will be back in San Francisco next May. And so as you follow the race series throughout the year, we don't really call it a series, so I don't want people looking for that. You just follow along. You see who the event winners are. There's a podium race at the end of each 2-day event. And then there's a scoreboard, and we have the leaderboards available on our website. So if you go to sailgp.com, we keep the leaderboards there so people can keep track. We have an app so people can follow along with the app. It's really technologically focused. And, for those people who have never seen this before, don't know anything about sailing, we have great commentary. as you're watching the races, we've got all those really cool digital graphics that go on, so it helps you kind of get up to speed. There's still some terminology even I'm picking up, to be quite honest with you. I mean, I listened to some of this stuff. I'm like, oh, that's a new one. Okay, make note of that. But really and truly, it's about the excitement that you see. Think of it like Formula One on the water. We've got a whole bunch of highly competitive athletes, the best in the world, coming together, and they're just trying to outrace each other to get to the finish line.
What would be the perfect location? I know you can come into the village to watch it, but where is in Bermuda at this point the perfect location to see the race?
Well, because we're in Dockyard in the west, obviously this is weather dependent, so it's not like a fixed racetrack. The racetracks on the water tend to move, and we've got our weather specialists that take a look at these things every morning, so we might shift it slightly. So boaters will probably have some of the greatest views right along the race course, and you'll have that VIP section there, so you can see the F50s up close and personal. I think last year some people were lining up at along Watford Bridge, to be honest with you. Anybody who's at West End Sailboat Club will have a perfect view. Even on the other side of the Sound, it depends on which side of the racecourse you're looking at. So people from all over in the west, or who actually face the Great Sound, are going to get a great view. The best view is going to be for the race village. So we're going to do flybys. And I'm sorry about all the noise behind me, but there's all kinds of boats being moved around. In the race village, we've got the waterfront viewing. So that way, even before the race comes along, we're going to have the F50s come along. They do their parade, do their flyby, and then out. So you can see that up close and personal there. And even the energy, having the commentary helps get the vibe going, right? People have a better understanding of what's going on, especially if you're just learning about it and getting up to speed.
Now, I know there are 2 new teams that are joining, and that's exciting. Can you tell us who they are and what's the energy like with them joining?
So we've got the Swiss are joining us, as well as the Canadians. I think the Canadians are definitely winning over Bermuda right now. So
I saw.
The energy is crazy. They're bringing a sense of Canada to Bermuda while they're doing the sailing and the training. We've got ball hockey happening and dancing with gombes and really immersing themselves. So this is really fantastic. I think both teams are definitely, they're eager to get out on the water and get right into the competition. It's not going to be easy for them. We've got some seasoned vets. Obviously, Tom Slingsby and the Australian team have proven to be top-notch, being back-to-back champions, right? So season 1, season 2 winners. Now they're coming in, and we've got these new teams who have only been together for a matter of months, been training on simulators until they got to Bermuda, and have had the privilege of getting a couple weeks advanced training before the rest of the competition takes place.
Are their helmsmen, are they seasoned? Are they new? Are they?
So the interesting thing is Phil Robertson was originally with the Spanish team. He's now with the Canadian team. So you've got a seasoned driver in the seat for the Canadian team, and then you've got Sebastian, who is the driver for the Swiss team, and he's got. All of these athletes have extensive sailing background. They're Olympians. They're other champions. They're different boat classes. So they're competing on a regular basis, not just with our league. So they come with a lot of experience. But the F50, as you know, Sancha, these are different boats, right?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's one thing to be sailing on smaller classes. Then you get onto an F50, and it's a whole other beast. And technology involved with it. It really comes down to the crew working together, and strong leadership skills, and it's mental and physical ability that's really at being tested.
If you have any questions or comments for Schereene, please send them through. We'll ask. You mentioned the Endeavor program earlier.
Yes.
And I just want to, I didn't grow up into sailing. I honestly, I loved competitive sports. I loved team sports, but I never knew much about sailing. It wasn't something that we necessarily did in school, but I know they're doing it in more schools now and so on. How important is it to connect Sail GP and these athletes to the community while in Bermuda?
Oh, it's massive. So we have an Adopt a Club program that was actually born here in Bermuda. The idea was brought about last year during COVID, where we paired each of the Sail GP teams with the local sailing clubs, and it was a perfect alignment because we have 8 sailing clubs, and then we had 8 teams. So it was just a great way to say, hey, let's connect, let's have conversations, let's understand the maritime history that's on the island, let's understand how people can get involved. And it's got to be a two-way street, right? So building these relationships, and then obviously doing it on an annual basis. This is our second year in Bermuda, and yet we have a third year coming here for season 4. So as time goes along, the relationships get built out, the youth get exposed to elite athletes get accustomed to local culture and the historical value of what Bermuda has to bring to the table. And one of those things is something as old as the Bermuda rig. So when you look at the wing foil design, that was actually based off of the Bermuda rig design from, what was it, the 1600s. So things like that, those tie-ins, the aha moments that people have, it's just an amazing thing altogether. And then with the youth coming through and seeing what the pathways are that are available for them in the maritime industry, that's a key thing as well. The maritime industry is synonymous with Bermuda, amongst other things. That's first and foremost a solid part of the culture here. So having the Inspire program, where we've got a learning, careers, and racing series of pathways that people can fall within. There are some that you need to apply for, some that are just open to the public as far as getting involved. We had a boat design challenge that went out to the schools to see if we can get some kids, future designers. There's a lot of science involved in that, to see if they could design something faster than the F50, more efficient than the F50. There's so many different things that like I said, I could talk for hours about this stuff. We could just keep going, and then you're going to tell me to be quiet.
No, I'm enjoying it.
One of my questions is, obviously, an event of this magnitude coming to Bermuda, you go all around the world. Yes. But Bermuda, we're like in the middle of the ocean, and to build this, just the base itself, what goes into that?
Well, I'm actually sitting. I'm sitting in one of the hangars that was sort of a legacy bit that was here from America's Cup days, and the shed is being utilized quite well. We have a ton of people that are on the ground that have to put these tents up, build out the site. One of the really cool features about Cross Island is the fact that we can have the tech site right next to the race village. This is the first time this has happened in 2 seasons. Now we're going into season 3. It's the very first time that it's happened. And so what that means is anybody who's coming to the race village will be right next to where all the action is taking place. That isn't something that just happens easily in all of the locations around the world. Will that happen elsewhere eventually? Maybe, but a lot of that is geographically dictated, if you will. So putting these things up, it's like it's a traveling roadshow, really and truly. We have over 100 containers on a ship that come through, and within 48 hours, those things are offloaded, separated, and then we've got teams of people that then have to just go at it. I mean, 20 hours of work easily just to get the tents up in time, and then have everybody come around. And it's just like one day it's flat land, next day there are tents up with branding, and you wonder where all the magic happens, and it's with the solid staff that we've got backing us up. And of course, we couldn't do any of this stuff if we didn't have the buy-in from local vendors as well. We have a lot of people on the ground that help us out. So machinery, it's a lot of background stuff that the average person doesn't see. It's not so sexy, if you will. So it's there's a lot of machinery, there's a lot of construction, there's a lot of labor that goes into these situations, and we need resources on the ground and services on the ground that can help us do that from city to city.
We've got a question from the audience. Richard Olson asking, what is the entertainment for the Front Street Party on Thursday? What's the entertainment for the entire weekend?
So Thursday, the BTA have partnered with us to help promote and welcome everybody to Sail GP. The entertainment, I understand, is it's going to be DJ Chubb will be there, and I believe Jesse is singing. So I don't know if it's the Silver City Band or if it's Jesse, but we've definitely got live music there. It's al fresco dining. The Canadian team is having their launch party on Wednesday. And then when we move into the weekend, we've got Saturday and Sunday at the Race Village is where a lot of live entertainment will take place. We've got Live Wires that'll be performing in the village. Rusty G will be DJing both days. We've got Gombe's showing up to help open up the Race Village on the Saturday. We've got some interesting co-hosts. Glenn Jones is coming back to help us host along with Patrina. So we've got them doing their thing on stage to keep the crowds lively and hype. Then we've got Juggling Jay. We were doing a raft up after the racing on Saturday. So that's a new addition to the whole thing and a very Bermudian way of celebrating on the water. So that'll take place at Mangrove Bay as of 3:30, 4 o'clock. So once the racing is done on Saturday, anybody who's on the water can switch over to Mangrove Bay and then keep the party going.
It sounds like a party.
Yes.
If there's one thing Bermudians do love, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Cup Match, right? I'm one of the few people who still goes to Cup Match and actually watches the cricket game because I like the game. But for the most part, on the second day, a lot of people show up for the party. So, folks, even if you don't understand sailing, let's get up there for the
This is like
party.
action sailing. You know what I mean? It's just
racing.
a whole different
It's
type of sailing. So
That's
yeah.
exactly it. Thank you.
And then
Sandra.
you get to see those boats actually get, and the wind looks like it's going to be up, so they're going to get up on the foils, and the potential for them to capsize, and you're like,
Last year was crazy with the U.S. and the Japanese, and
there were two boats that capsized last year, and it was, seeing it, watching it live, it's so scary. Your heart stops.
Yeah.
But obviously they're trained for this, and they take all the safety precautions to make sure everyone's okay.
Yeah,
but it's action.
It is. Real quickly, Schereene, what are all the teams? I know Canada's the new team. What are all the teams that are participating? The Swiss, the Canadians, what else?
You're gonna test my memory now.
I am, because I forget and I looked it up.
Okay, so we've got Australia, Denmark, Great Britain, New Zealand, France, US, Canada, Switzerland. I'm at 8. Spain, can't forget Spain, and that's 9. And Japan. Those are the 10. Yeah.
All right. So, Sansa, who you cheering for?
I don't know. I don't know.
Schereene, it's easy for you. Who you cheering for?
I'm for all of them. I just want a great show. I represent the league.
Where is Jimmy? Where's Jimmy right now? I don't know.
Jimmy's on the US team. The Pitbull.
Yeah. So
yes.
I'm for. Huh?
Is that Jimmy Spithill? I think.
Yes.
It's Jimmy Spithill.
Oh, I know some people.
See.
All right, Jamal.
and is Ben Ainsley?
Yes, Sir Ben Ainsley is he is the driver for the Great Britain.
British.
So I'm between, I guess, USA or Britain, but then I'm also a sucker for Japan. So
yeah. So
you gotta choose.
I gotta break it to you.
It's different because, like, especially when you get to know them a little bit, and you have like a soft spot, right?
Yeah, and they all have their own characters, right?
Exactly.
And people attach themselves to characters. And I just want to say, I mean, regardless of who you're rooting for, if you head down to the Waterfront Man, we've got our fan shop elements that are happening there. So if you want to get stuff ahead of the actual racing next weekend, or you can get it at the fan shop at Cross Island out here in Dockyard next weekend as well. And you can, just rock the team that you want to support. We've got 10 of them to support.
Choose one, folks. Don't be like Sancha and Schereene. Where can people find
I'm going to be switching my shirts.
I have gear. I have gear at home. I just,
Oh, you're taking that position of neutrality. Dr. King warned us about those kind of people. Schereene, where can people learn more information?
I can drive everyone to sailgp.com, and that's the best place for information, for tickets. One of the key things I want to let people know is that while tickets are selling, even if you're not sure if you're going to be able to make it that day, you can always come up to Cross Island and here in Dockyard, and you can buy tickets on site, or you can even join us in the free. We have a free zone, so that you can still have access to all the entertainment and the commentary and the big screens that we're going to have up, and still be part of the festivities. It's there for everybody. So we want people to come out and enjoy themselves, and grab a beverage, grab a bite to eat, and stay with us for the whole weekend.
One quick question. Muslim Fame is asking, just out of curiosity, with participants from all those different countries, what are the language service needs?
For the teams?
Yeah.
Then I believe that's where they're going with it. Essentially, we have a lot of English-speaking folks on each of those teams, and then we do have bilingual, multilingual people that are part of that. But if we do have language-speaking needs, then if somebody wants to hit me up at souterbridge@sailgp.com, then I can share that information with the relevant teams.
All righty, Schereene Outerbridge, thank you so much. This is great. Sancha will be there and showing off, and along with many other from the Daily Hour team, but I'm hoping it's a great event. I'll be doing my part to make sure people enjoy themselves, and please stay in touch with us. And it will be happening again next year, right?
Yes, we're here for season 4 as well, and we're looking forward to having you guys on at the Village.
Yeah,
that's going to be exciting.
Oh yeah, you guys, that does include me, unfortunately, folks. COVID just.
I'll be there.
All right, Schereene.
Take pictures for you now.
See, this rubbing it in. You know what I'm saying? Schereene, have a wonderful week. All the best with this year's SailGP, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you. Okay, looking forward to it. Take care.
All right, Schereene Outerbridge, SailGP, folks. Make sure you get up there, experience it. Sancha's just rubbing it in. We're going to take a quick break. We got to take a break. We are behind time. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with more information on this. Do not go anywhere, folks.
A lot happens around your home. That is why at One Communications, we have introduced affordable security and video monitoring, because everyone should be able to afford to protect their family. Anytime, from anywhere, One Home Security keeps you connected and puts security in your hands with an easy-to-use smartphone app to control everything. Home security is important to keep you and your family safe. Motion-activated cameras around your home and security monitoring within create a complete security system providing protection both inside and outside your home. Professional monitoring means that there's someone on call with 24/7 protection to notify the authorities and help keep you and your loved ones safe. We are dedicated to whole home protection with indoor and outdoor cameras, smart door locks, motion sensors, and more, so you'll always be connected to what matters most. With professional installation, no upfront hardware fees, and low monthly rates, because keeping your family safe should be affordable for everyone. Total home video monitoring and security, there's no better way to protect your home than with One Home Security.
I'm part of the SSCP, giving us opportunities to go out and sell, which is what I'm doing today.
One of the most important things I learned in the SSCP is that failure is just a part of being an entrepreneur.
As a vote community, then you can't go anywhere, can you? I just believe it's a really beautiful and amazing experience for everybody.
A lot of late nights being up, trying to finalize things, especially for me.
You don't have to do everything at once. Little steps is the key to success.
They helped me go through every step of the way.
It has helped me gain more confidence, so that's one thing.
I'm Marley Spriggs, and I am an entrepreneur.
My name is Joshua Allen, and I am an entrepreneur.
My name is Trey Robertson Richards, and I am an entrepreneur. My name is Namira Rayner, and I am an entrepreneur.
My name is Vincent Darrow, and I am an entrepreneur.
I'm Shayla Swan, and I'm an entrepreneur.
I am Sophia Paxenhan. I am an entrepreneur.
My name is Zion, and I'm a young entrepreneur.
All right, welcome back to the big show. She's Sancha Durham, I'm Jamel Hartman. Thanks again to One Communications, BDC, People's Pharmacy, Medical House, Linda's. Thanks again to Schereene. If you appreciated that conversation today, give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share that so Bermudians know there's some things to do and things happening in Bermuda this week. Sancha.
Yes.
Are you going to be out and about? And
I'm going to be here at National Stadium.
Oh. So you're just gonna like share videos and rub it in, and
yeah, I'm gonna make sure I have on my sunglasses and.
Oh, okay. You know, yeah. Oh, we have a giveaway, folks. It's not coming from Sancha, it's just free. let's do the daily play. We're gonna wrap it up. And then we'll do the giveaway. So, Sanj, are you ready for the daily play?
What is it, Jamal?
All
Look at my straight face.
All right. She loses her smile this time of show, folks. All right, how per out, time for the daily play brought to you by Heineken 0.0. Great taste, no alcohol. Sencha. Here you go. It's a remember when. All right. This is so easy.
Oh, gosh, it's easy for you. I tell you, I'm not a trivia person.
You're going to get this. Trust me.
Okay, let's see.
In May of 1997, who succeeded Dr. David Soul to become Premier of Bermuda? 1997.
1997. That wasn't John Swan? No? No? I feel bad. I should know this. Who was it?
John Swan was premier, I think, between 81 or 82 to 95.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, the entire audience got it.
But me. Sorry, guys. We're going to work on my trivia. We are.
Yeah. I thought she had that one. Well, this was a historic one. It was Dame Pamela Felicity Gordon, JPMP, United Bermuda Party, daughter of the late Dr. E.F. Gordon, who founded the Bermuda Industrial Union. She became the first female premier of Bermuda on her appointment. So I thought you had that one, Sancha. I thought you had it.
Sorry. I think I got all frazzled.
Always the most intelligent people that, when it comes to test time, they panic.
I'm like,
I didn't have those issues. I weren't one of the intelligent people. So what are your final thoughts on today's show discussion and guest?
So when you undervalue what you do, the world will undervalue who you are.
That's not daily inspiration yet.
Oh, sorry. What? Oh, we're wrapping up. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Listen, I messaged about before the show started. I said, listen, this one may be a little rough, okay?
No, but real quickly, a hashtag for today's giveaway, folks, is the Daily Hour. Hashtag the Daily Hour. You can put your hashtag the Daily Hour in while we give our final thoughts.
Okay.
Go, Sanj, go.
Final thoughts. So, as we were talking about employees, employers, I never think it's a good thing to go and blast your former employer, regardless of what went on. Make note of it and know what you're going to stand for and what you're going to look for in the next place of employment. But as you said, if we're talking about sexual harassment, racism, it's necessary. Those things should not be stood for on any level. So we need to blow the whistle on those things. But just know that your next employee is going to think it's a red flag if you sit there and discuss what was so bad constantly about your former employee and not move on from it, right? Yeah. And then as far as it brought back so much memories and great energy speaking to Sail GP today. I don't know if everyone knows, Sail GP kind of came from the America's Cup originally. They decided to start a World Series, and this is where Sail GP was born. And to be part of that and see how it's grown, and it's awesome. Happy that it's back in Bermuda, and I hope that everyone gets out and take advantage. And even, if you have a little one, guaranteed they won't understand it, but once they see how fast those boats are, they look like they're flying, and yeah, it grasps their attention. And Maddox would sit down and watch sailing, doesn't understand it, but he will watch it. So
yeah. I'll say this much, folks. You don't want to. As Sancha said earlier in this show, we love mess as a society, as a community, as people. We love mess. Let's not contribute to it. One of the things I learned about media is, you want to discuss the news, you want to report the news, you don't want to become the news. However, and I'm dead serious when I say this, there are times when we need to be publicly speaking about our former employer. If it involves inappropriate behavior, if it involves corruption, if it involves an opportunity where whistleblowing may protect the greater community and fellow colleagues, there are times to do it. So that's my take on that. For Sail GP, Bermuda needs events like this. Bermuda needs events like this. I'll leave it right there. Hopefully it's a great event. You all are putting in the hashtag. So Sanj, let's do the giveaway because they are hungry for a little prize. Let's see what we got. Let's draw. Oops, here we go. Marquita Lee. So, well, I didn't even tell you what you're getting. So, we're giving away a book titled Homecoming, Overcoming Fear and Trauma to Reclaim Your Whole Authentic Self by Dr. Thema Bryant, who will be hosting a free webinar on Saturday, May 14th, 2022, put on by the Bermuda Psychology Association, the Bermuda College, and Mount Zion AME Church. So, Marquita Lee, send us an email, engage@thedailyhour.com, and we will send your details over to the Bermuda Psychology Association so you can get your copy of your book. Sandra, do you want to do your inspiration?
I think everybody already heard it. I feel like I inspired them, but I'll do it again. So when you undervalue what you do, the world will undervalue who you are. Do you know who said that?
That's Oprah from yesterday, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what inspired it.
There you go. There you go. That was your daily play from yesterday. See, she got that one right, folks, right? She got that one right.
All inspired.
Not inspired. That's Oprah. I guessed it. Look at me. So it's that time. It's that time.
I'm not going to see you for the rest of the week, Jamal.
Yeah. And you'll probably be showing off between now and the next time I see you.
Been a good 2 days with you.
Yeah. She put up with me for 2 straight days, folks. But thanks again to our partners, Medical House, One Communications, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Sancha Durham. I'm Jamal Hartman. My friends, make it a safe and great day. Sancha, go easy on the pitch. Just don't have too much fun.
I'll see you next week, guys.
Peace.